Good morning, Bucknutters. It is Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. I am Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and change. We will get to Duane Long in just 1 second. He is obviously here for his standard Tuesday appearance. But I do need your help, Bucknutters. Our site is locked in a battle with the Michigan and Penn State sites to see who can generate the most 5-star reviews on Apple iTunes for our podcasts. So here's what I need you to do. There is a link in the first message board post below here. Please click on that and go and give us a 5-star rating and leave a comment. Or if you have this going through your phone, pick up your podcast app, click on shows, click on Bucknuts Morning 5, scroll down, hit the 5th star and give us a review. I have no idea why these are so important, but I know for a fact that they are, and there is a serious competition going down. We have been challenged by the Michigan site and the Penn State site to see who can generate the most reviews. So please, if you have not already done this, go there now and give us a 5-star review. You don't even have to stop the podcast to do that. It will be greatly appreciated. There's obviously no reason we should lose to Michigan or Penn State in anything. Now, let's get to the real fun. We have Duane Long here. Duane, how goes it on this sunny, fine Tuesday?
I'm a little fired up about this now that I know what's going on. We don't lose to Penn State or Michigan at anything. You just said it. Bucknuts, come on, Buckeye Nation. No, don't allow this to happen. Get over there, check this thing out.
That's right. Give us a 5-star review and help us win. If the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to win big this season, they will need their offensive line to perform at a very high level. Today, Duane is going to go through his 2 deep. So here's what we did. I polled the Bucknuts staffers, and Duane has not seen this list yet, and I asked them who is going to be the starting 5 on the offensive line left to right. So what we have is we're going to go through position by position. I'm going to give you what the consensus is, and then you tell me why or why not that player should be there. Are you ready to roll?
Yes, I am.
Left tackle, Thayer Munford. Starter, and then you can give who you think should be the backup.
I think it's going to get really complicated, Dan, because of what's going on at right tackle. Got to find a new right tackle. We've Alabi is even gone. We don't have that veteran depth there with him. Bowen is gone, obviously. We're looking at the right side with who is what it comes down to. The good thing is it started really with Urban Meyer doing a better job of getting tackles in here. Tackles can play guard. Guards, just don't try to ask a guard to play tackle. And, you can slide the guys down. What we're looking at right now over there is we've got Duane Jones, and he played left tackle. He was, for all intents and purposes, the backup left tackle last year. Well, it makes sense to me, especially at his size, kick him over to the right side. But then again, you got a guy that is, his size is what keeps him from being an automatic left tackle. If he's got the feet to play left tackle, why not play him over there? That's the whole thing. If you've got a kid that can play left tackle, play him at left tackle. But, we do have the right side open, and we've got a couple other names over there. We've got Petit Frere. We got to get him. He's got to start helping us out. This is the number 1 offensive lineman in the country coming out of high school. He's going into his 3rd year, and it's time to make his mark. But then we've got a kid that I have as rated as high as any offensive lineman I have since Orlando Pace, and that's Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson is just a driven kid, and you got a kid that is as big as he is. We saw some pictures last year of Paris Johnson with his mother, and he almost looks thin at about 290. How massive this kid is, and just the drive he has. He is driven to succeed. He's played at a high level in high school. Now, we're talking about We're talking about a freshman on the offensive line. That just does not happen very often. But this is a kid. It's been a long time since I projected a guy that could. I thought Petit Frere could, but really thought a guy that could play immediately on the offensive line. I'm not going to be surprised at all if Paris Johnson is the starting right tackle. Now he could be, number two. He's going to be in the two deep somewhere. I think eventually he swings over to play the left side anyway. He's just special. Those guys right there, that core, DeJuan Jones, Nicholas Petit Frere, and Paris Johnson, they're going to be fighting over those other three tackle spots, the starting right tackle and the backups at the left tackle and right tackle. And I have a hard time believing that the staff is looking at those guys and saying, okay, this is the one guy that's going to step up here. This is the guy if they've got anybody in there, it's in pencil. I bet they got them stacked just like I do. We're going to have a competition, and whoever comes in there is whoever comes in there as a starter. Well, we're going to look at the other two and see where we're going to put them, left tackle or right tackle as backups in the two deep. It's a good situation. I remember times when there were guards at tackle because Jim Bowman kept recruiting big guards. I mean, Alex Boone. Look at Alex Boone. Perfect example. This is a guy that Jim Bowman made play left tackle. He couldn't even play right tackle in the NFL, but he was good enough to play in the NFL for a number of years. He may still be in there. I don't know. But he played guard. Now we're getting guys in here who are natural tackles, and we're getting them in numbers. And, here we are. Well, this is a good situation to be in. These guys are young, and they're just such natural tackles. That's the most important thing. And we have numbers. We got 3 kids that could step into the two deep anywhere. And here they are fighting for a starting job. And one of the other 2 that does not win the starting job is going to kick over to the left tackle. It could be, maybe they just want to go ahead and establish a two deep. Forget about it. Just, we're going to put these guys here and let them get the position down. And we're going to kick this other kid over here to the left side. Now, how that could break down, you have to look at DeJuan Jones. He came in here, jumped over Petit Frere as far as actual playing time by the end of the year. This kid's come out of nowhere. And look at how impressive he's been. Maybe they're just going to say, okay, here's our, Munford's a senior, or going to be a senior here. So let's kick one guy over there and just get him ready to play left tackle. Now, I again say Paris Johnson is the future, and really you don't want to put freshmen in. But if he's the best, you put him in there and let him be the starter. Let him learn on the job if you really aren't that impressed with him. But they may decide, okay, we want a guy. We want to put one guy in there. We want him to get the backup, all the backup reps at left tackle, because they are different, Dan. Left tackle and right tackle are different. You're usually dealing with a different guy. On the left side, you're dealing with a guy that's an elite pass rusher. He's going to have more speed. And on the right side, you're dealing with a guy that's a little bit bigger because he's going to have the tight end lined up over him a lot. He's got to be a stronger kid, but he's still got to be a good pass rusher. The big thing, though, is they do everything opposite. Left side tackle, he leads with his left foot, left hand. On the right side, lead with your right foot, your right hand. Getting that down to where it's automatic. I can see where the staff would decide, let's just stick one guy over there on the left side and let him get that down. And we look at both Paris Johnson and Petit Frere, and they both played on the left side in high school. So this is a fluid situation. Locking in, when you're looking at the two deep so decimated at right tackle and you got younger guys, you can't really say, I definitely believe these guys are going to play here. If you put a gun to my head, what I think is going to happen is Paris Johnson, Petit Frere fight it out on the right side, and they've already been putting Jones over there on the left side. So if that's how it shakes out, the odds are that's what's going to happen.
So that means you believe Thayer Munford will be the starter at left tackle.
Yes.
Who do you believe will be the starter at right tackle?
I keep going back to Jones. If he hadn't played so much on the left side, last year, what do we have? We had Bowen, a senior. So why not kick him over there if he looks that good? But it's just tough to make a call. Another thing is how impressed I am with Paris Johnson. He just seems to be a kid that is going to will his way into a possible starting position, even though he's going to be a true freshman. And he is an extremely talented kid, played at a high level of competition in high school. So, gun to my head, I'm going to say Paris Johnson wins that job over Nicholas Petit Frere.
Very interesting. That goes against what our staff believes. We're going to take a quick break, come back, kick it inside, and talk about guard and center. All right, we are back. Very interesting setup going forward, like you mentioned. In the past, Ohio State may have had a dearth of tackles. Now, as I look at the two deep going forward, there are bigger questions at backup guard. Now, no question at backup guard can be as big as tackle because obviously they can kick one of those guys into guard if they absolutely had to, if there's a talent overflow. But right now, just to reiterate, our staff has left guard Harry Miller that would be taking over the spot of Jonah Jackson. And then the two retainees, Josh Myers at center and Wyatt Davis at right guard. Is that how you see it? And then maybe go over some of the guys you think that will be in the two deep behind them.
That's my choices. That's what I think. That Harry Miller, for one thing, he's a big guy. So often when you're looking at centers, you're not looking at the biggest guy. He's 311 pounds according to the latest roster that I've seen, and he can play. So he's going to have the problems that a smaller guy will have as a guard. And I think they want to just get him that experience to kick him inside to center next year, because you just can't really believe that Josh Myers is coming back. It's just not realistic. I think it's a little more realistic than with most people, because just the kind of kid he is, he might decide he wants to stay playing college football as long as he can. That would not be out of the question. So many guys in his position, they're going to go. They're going to go. And I still think the odds are he will go, but they're not as high as they are with a lot of kids. But you got to have that center position ready. You got to have a guy ready to step in there. And having Harry Miller in there as a starter, the kid's as good a center as I've ever seen him to high school level. And he did so well in camps and combines, again, pass pro. That's something the inside guys that makes them inside guys is they just struggle. They don't have the length and they don't have the feet that Harry Miller does. You want to talk about guards not being able to play tackle. Harry Miller doesn't have the length to play tackle, but he's got everything else. He's got the feet and just an outstanding football player. So we prep him at left guard. What I would like to see is Matthew Jones. It's just he was a great high school defensive lineman. I'm pretty sure he was in the top 4, top 5 until it became obvious that he was going to Ohio State and Ohio State was going to play him on the offensive line. I don't know how much experience Matthew Jones has playing on the offensive line. It would be nice to get him in the mix there too. Because think about this. as you said, you're absolutely right about we're tackled up these days. We got tackles because you got to remember the other two guys, Max Ray and Ryan Jacoby, that are still out there. So and they're guys that came here to play tackle. So we've got that in there and that element. So, but as guards, I mean, we got Gavin Cupp. I don't know if we've got another scholarship guard. So having Matthew Jones ready to step in there. Josh Myers leaves. We see Harry Miller move over to center. Well, we need a new left guard. Now we got some really nice guards coming in the 2020 class. So you just don't want to put freshmen in there though. Guards more so than tackles. You're more likely to see a kid that's that talented. Playing a freshman at guard, true freshman, I don't know about that. So Matthew Jones getting some reps in there at they supposedly brought him in to play center. Guard or center, either way, you just want him to get some reps. That's the whole point in all this. The two deep is you got to have your backups ready, and those backups you expect them to step into the starting lineup in the near future. So getting Matthew Jones in that mix, that's another thing. They may decide just to put Harry Miller as the backup center. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to put Harry Miller in the starting lineup. But Matthew Jones has got to be ready to play.
I have a hard time believing you have Dewan Parrish and Nicholas Petit-Frere on the team that all three of them aren't going to start. One of them's going to get kicked into guard, I think, but we shall see. That said, so Duane's starting five, left to right, is a little different than the boys. So Duane has left tackle Thayer Munford, left guard Harry Miller, center Josh Myers, who I believe will enter the NFL draft after this season, by the way. Right guard Wyatt Davis, who will also be headed for Sunday football. The boys had Nicholas Petit-Frere as a starter at right tackle. You had Paris Johnson. Either way, what we've hit on here is Ohio State is stacked at tackle, and there may be some questions inside after this season. This is a very, very talented offensive line they're putting out there. They're going to be raw in some spots, right tackle and left guard, but the talent level across the board may be the highest it's ever been player for players. We will continue our Two Deep series with Duane next week, but now, if you have not given us a 5-star review on iTunes, please go do so. We cannot afford to lose to Michigan or Penn State. Again, we thank Duane for stopping by. Have a good one, Bucknutters.